All right, we need to talk about something big. We're going to break down the argument that an entire industry, the one we trust to keep us safe, is fundamentally broken. It's all about why we need to change the role of a security guard from just a temporary job into a real, respected profession. So let's just start with a really provocative question. What if the entire private security industry was built on a lie? The big lie. It's the idea that a security guard is just a warm body, a placeholder in a uniform. Okay, so check this out. On the one hand, we regulate the security industry like it's a serious profession. You need licenses, you have to get fingerprinted, you go through background checks. But then, in reality, it's treated like a minimum wage job. The pay is awful, the turnover is insane, and there's basically no way to move up. See the problem here? It's a total contradiction.
And, to really get why this contradiction matters so much, you have to look at the human cost.
I want you to think about this one story of a security guard who gave 30 years of his life to protect a single location. Yeah, 3 decades. That's nights, weekends, holidays, the works. So, after putting in all that time, what was his final wage? $33 an hour. And you might think, hey, $33 an hour? Not too bad. But hold on. Once you factor in 3 decades of inflation, that's basically what a rookie guard should be making right now. It means there was 0 real growth over his entire career. And that right there, that hits the nail on the head. A system that's designed for people to quit, not for them to grow, well, that's not a career. It's a sentence. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be this way. A better system is totally possible. It's just really rare. The source for this brings up a hospital security job that actually offered an extra $2 an hour for every 5 years of experience. Now, it was a total exception, but it proves the rule. You can build a system that values experience. Okay, so how do we actually fix this mess? Well, there's a blueprint for change, and it's all about building a ladder that actually leads to a real career. The plan is actually pretty straightforward. It boils down to 3 key steps. First, you create different skill tiers, so we stop pretending all security work is the same. Second, you legally mandate a minimum wage, a pay floor, for each of those tiers. And here's the real game changer. When a guard invests their own time and money into getting more training, they are guaranteed to be paid more for it. And look, this isn't some crazy radical idea we just cooked up. This is literally how every other licensed trade works. We're talking electricians, plumbers, nurses. This is just about getting the security industry to catch up and operate like a real profession. All right, now we have to be real for a second. Making this happen, it would be a shock to the system. Think of it like an earthquake that has to happen to rebuild the industry's shaky foundation from the ground up. And let's not sugarcoat it, there would be consequences. Those companies that have built their entire business model on paying rock-bottom wages just to win contracts, yeah, they're not going to make it. Their foundation will crumble, and to be honest, some guards might be out of a job for a little while. That's the hard truth. But see, that's the trade-off you have to make. Because after that initial shakeup, the companies left standing will be the good ones, the ones who are already paying people properly, training them well, and treating their employees like assets instead of like disposable parts. So, after that initial earthquake, the market starts to find its balance again. And the whole focus shifts from just having bodies to having quality professionals. So let's look at the old way, right? A client needs security, so what do? They hire, say, 3 guards at the absolute lowest possible price. What they get is high turnover and service that's inconsistent at best. Now, compare that to the new way. That same client might hire 2 people instead of 3, but they are true professionals, better trained and better paid. And what happens? Morale shoots up, turnover basically disappears, and the quality of service is night and day. Okay, but here's the part that really matters to the client's wallet. Sure, the line item for the security contract might be a little higher, but when you have professionals on site, you have fewer problems, fewer incidents. That means lower insurance premiums, less liability, and you're not constantly spending money to hire and train new people. So when you add it all up, the client's total cost, their total risk, actually goes down. And we've got the numbers to prove this isn't just a theory. Let's take a place like New York, for example. The average pay would jump from around $17 an hour to about $22. Annual turnover, which right now is over 100%, would get cut in half. and the industry would finally shift from offering stopgap jobs to building stable careers. So that all sounds great, right? But the big question is, how do you make a change like this stick? The answer is actually super simple, but it has to have real teeth. If a company gets caught paying a licensed guard less than the legally required wage for their skill tier, they lose their business license. That's it. No warnings, no second chances. You follow the rules or you're out. Period. So, when you step back and look at the big picture, who actually wins here? Well, the guards, obviously. They get a living wage and an actual career path. The good companies win too. They save a ton of money on recruiting. The clients win because they get fantastic, consistent service. And maybe most importantly, you and I, the public, we finally get to see a true security professional. And I want to be really clear about something. This is not some call for big government. It's about smart governance. It's about putting in a simple, smart rule to finally stop the race to the bottom that's been dragging this entire industry down for decades. So, it really all comes down to this. That bridge, the one that leads from a dead-end job to a respected profession, it's built. It's right there in front of us. The only question left is, are we finally ready to take that first step?